Hello, hello. Happy day. What is it, Wednesday? How y'all doing? Um, it's going to be a short stream today. I can only go for about an hour and a half. And then I have another interview that I have to head out for. So that's what's going to happen today. So it's just open panel. Hop up if you want to chat. Otherwise, I'll do my usual thing. Go through news, tweets, talk out my head. Let's see. God, wow, this is good news actually. Nobody's killing people or blowing shit up today. Um, so far. It's just Trump cabinet hearings. Russia shot a missile at Ukraine. The South Korean president is arrested behind trying to impeach his people. I mean, trying to do martial law on his people. That kind of stuff. Um, I don't think I have any tweets because I haven't really been on Twitter. Nope. Man, I haven't been on Twitter in days. Twitter is just nothing's happening there at all. Seems like a waste of time. It's like one of those little dying towns that are so depressing in real life. Um, seems like there may be. Is there news? Do I have news? I had something I want to talk about. I forgot what it was. Oh well, maybe it'll pop back in there. In the meantime, I'll just talk. I'm considering trying out. I've tried it before. It's this Restream service. Hey Bex and Beak, how are y'all? I'm uh I'm gonna do like a few streams with the free version, and then I might switch from StreamYard to Restream. It's about a third cheaper. Um, it just you know I don't know if you know how YouTube, if you stream for over 12 hours, YouTube only records 12 hours. Well, Restream cuts you off after 6, but I think YouTube still continues to record the stream up to 12. Like you can keep streaming, but Restream only saves 6 hours of it. But I think YouTube will still save up to 12. So I need to check into that. But most of my streams have not been going over 6 hours anyway. So that won't be a problem to switch. And Monday is Martin Luther King Day celebration. So we're going to do an all day holiday stream for that. And things are getting busy. I'm involved in a lot of job search slash business um, activity. Oh, Evmux, Bex, that's the one I tried, not Restream. No wonder I was so confused. It was Evmux. I did a stream with Evmux. Let me check their pricing and their features. Okay, they're about the same as. I mean, they're like $5 more than Restream, but let me see their features. You get 12 participants instead of 10. Unlimited streams. You get the 1080p, which Restream does not give you at the standard price. I forgot what my criticism of Fmux was. You know what? I may do a stream with each. I'll do a Restream one day, Fmux another, and that'll give me a chance to get community feedback. So maybe tomorrow I can do one of them. But yeah, they're both way more affordable than StreamYard, and they give me almost everything that StreamYard gives. So I don't know why. What's the point of staying with StreamYard if I can get basically the same for a lot less? Also, at least Fmux I think did. I don't know if Restream does. They have the backstage area where you can talk to the people backstage so you can filter out the trolls. I won't have to take as many risks and use the overlay. Um, I can get them to cam up and have a dialogue with them while they're in the back to figure out whether to bring them on or not. So I guess maybe look for those little changes in the future. Everything's changing. I went to a job search thing today, job club. Green room, yeah, that's what it's called. I really liked that green room. And StreamYard has it too. It's just at the high tier, like the business level tier, the premium tier. So you have to pay a lot for the green to add the green room feature. And EvMux had it in the free version. Um, and again, everything is all about people are the human and the machine are aligning. People are as the machine sets the standard for communication, for communicating. I, I'll tell you what's happening. So, a lot of companies, especially if they're of any kind of size, have HR departments now. And the ones that don't often use the staffing agency. So, unless it's a really small business, chances are you're going to be filtered through an HR department, not directly to a hiring manager. And the HR departments are contracting with these third-party software companies, and I'm sure there's sales teams that go and visit the HR departments and say, "Hey, use our software." And everybody wants to be in on the new trend. So all of the HR departments think that this is progress, that they now have this technological filter to sift candidate resumes to. So these are companies that probably get 50, 100, hundreds, maybe thousands of resumes, and they're trying to find a way to filter out and get it down to a reasonable amount of candidates. So they can be really picky and they can set the AI to filter out any little small detail. If you word your job title the wrong way, if they're looking for a peer support specialist and you say you're a peer counselor, you could get filtered out. So it's becoming a game of this is the ideal that the machine is setting, and you have to learn to match that ideal in how you communicate. So people are becoming more and more machine-like. We watched a video today with this HR girl giving interview tips, and she talked like a robot. I could not tell the difference between her and one of those AI companions that simulate humans. And so more and more actual humans are becoming very machine-like and precise in their speech, and they're using that corporate, the corporate speak where they use all these buzzwords that don't really mean anything. Humans are turning into that just to get jobs, just to get your resume through the application process. You have to become more and more of the machine. And in the field of work I do, which is mental health slash customer service, um, that's the opposite of what I'm looking for, and it's the opposite of the skill set I bring, and that's the opposite of what I'm trying to do. I interface with humans. I'm really good at interfacing with humans, and I don't want to become more machine-like. I don't want to learn how to interface better with the machine. That takes me away from every single one of my strengths. And so I guess the point of all this is it's becoming more and more difficult in the job market to maintain your humanity and just be a real person without this being incentivized to adopt this mechanistic technocratic approach, persona, communication style, etc. And so that's what I got out of job class today. But I'll tell you one way around it I found, other than finding a person in the like networking. Find a person in the company, use your LinkedIn network, use your in-person network, and connect to a real human informally. Or you can call up and find a person and let them know you're thinking about the position. Can they answer a few questions? You can do an informational interview, etc. But the other way I found to get the interview today and the interview last week, I got two ways. The interview last week was through a staffing agency, which for a lot of smaller companies and sometimes nonprofits, they'll use a staffing agency as their HR department. So the staffing agency will do the HR functions for them. And with a staffing agency, you can usually talk to a live human a lot easier than you can with a large HR department. And so I called up different staffing agencies, and one of them, let me tell you the state of staffing agencies, at least in my area. The first one, the phone rang off the hook. Nobody answered. I let it ring eight to 10 times. The second one, I got the beep, 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 beep recording telling me it is no longer in service, that number, to check my number and try again. The third one, it said, "Hi, welcome to so and so. Please leave a short voicemail with your name and contact information of what you're calling for." And then it bumped me to the voicemail box, which was full. So that tells me they're not answering their voicemails. And there were only about 5 or 6 agencies in my town to begin with. So I finally got, and one of them I was able to contact through the website, and somebody emailed me back and said, "Can you send us a resume and let us know when a good time to have a brief phone conversation is?" So I sent the resume and I never heard back. So apparently, whatever was on my resume was not good enough for them. One agency, I called and a human answered the phone, and she asked me to send her resume, and I sent it. Like 5 minutes later, she calls me back. She says, "I got your resume." She set me up for a phone interview the next day. She talked to me, she asked me some questions, and she had an idea in her mind already of who their customers were, what kind of jobs they were hiring for. And there was this job she thought I would be perfect for in one of the mental health agencies, and she set me up for an interview the very next day. So that was human to interview process. It worked perfectly. I had to go through 4 other staffing agencies to get to her, but at least there's one staffing agency out there that's still functional and still interfacing with their candidates in person and connecting them to jobs using a human method. The job today, it's a larger company, it's a retail job. I went on their website just like McDonald's and I talked to the AI lady. Talking to an AI I found very effective too. That's what's got me my McDonald's interview that they never called me for. But the AI can ask you questions, and based on your answers, it can filter you out or funnel you into a job that you might be appropriate for, which is what happened for the interview today. I talked to the AI a little bit, and then the AI eventually said, "Hey, why don't you apply for this job?" And she connected me to the website with the application. I could upload the resume. I had to answer a few basic application questions. That was it. I submitted that. Less than 20, 30 minutes later, I got an email saying, "Hey, can you come in for an in-person interview?" Like 2 days later. So, staffing agencies, people that use AI, what I'm hoping is this AI, the AI thing was more dynamic and conversational, and that this AI hiring assistant that like McDonald's had one on their website, this other company had one on its website. Those companies that use the AI assistants, my hope is that that proves in the long run to be more effective than this algorithmic software method that they use to filter resumes, and that companies start shifting to it's a nice compromise between interfacing with a computer and a human because it's human like. It can adjust itself based on your answers. Um, it's not you having to figure out what answer the machine wants to hear. Because if you give a slightly wrong answer, the AI can tell you, "I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Can you restate it? Or are you trying to say this, etc." So it can kind of guide you along in getting past the machine. So I find the little AI assistant gatekeeping to be a lot easier to get results from than the algorithmic gatekeeping that these software AI that these HR software companies are using. So that's my latest update on being a human in the job search world in 2025 post COVID. Although I'm told that all of this was going on before 2022. I just know that the at least me, I've been out of the workforce for what, like 5 years now. It'll be 5 years in March, and I'm like frozen in time and trying to re-enter after 5 years. And so I didn't have to go through all of this the last times I had my jobs, but I was also networking within my field. I was going to, I was, how did I get my jobs? I volunteered for a year on a helpline, and that gave me a lot of volunteer experience, and it was a well-respected organization. So it counted for a lot of my resume, and I met a lot of people through that job. And I was constantly going to workshops, trainings, community events. In fact, I helped start the in-person peer community in Seattle. And so we did a lot of events ourselves through that. I was doing the peer coffees at Starbucks. So I was meeting a ton of people in the field. Eventually, I met some that led me. I think every single job I had as a peer was through another peer. Like, hey, I work at this organization. I want to tell my boss about you. You'd fit in great there. Or, hey, I know this other organization. They just lost a peer. They're looking for a new peer. I know someone that works there. Why don't you talk to this person, etc. Networking within, like, very, very field specific networking got me all of my Seattle jobs. Now I got fired from most of them. Michael, you're obsessed. Didn't we talk about this the other day? I think I gave my very detailed opinions on it, which is I don't have a lot of experience with it because I don't retain much. I let it out. Um, oh, Dagmar, yes, and great to see you. Um, have a good day. I hope I hope your New Year's going well so far. And and then COVID hit. And then COVID did two things, or lockdown, let's say, did two things. It improved my work because it jump started me. It allowed me to do it independently on my own, and it allowed me to do it online, and I could reach way more people than I was reaching in just Seattle. And I could do it my way, and I could help the people that I am best at helping without having a lot of micromanagement or supervisor over my shoulder and all of that. So I was doing more work, better quality work, and I was able to serve more people than I ever have at a local Seattle job. So it kind of set a new standard for what I'm capable of, and it gave me a higher level of challenge than I was getting in Seattle, and that's a big thing with me. I'm realizing lately that I'm very under challenged. I'm not operating at the right. You want just enough challenge to stimulate your potential, but not to overwhelm you with like despair and a sense of the impossible. Right now I'm very under challenged. I'm not doing anything that's really challenging my potential other than this YouTube stream. Um, and even that's kind of settled into a comfortable little groove. So COVID lockdown raised the standard that I'm able to work to when I was left on my own to set a new standard for myself and a new level of challenge. But as a result of that, the downside was I already struggled with that kind of stuff in the job market to begin with, and it increased that. So now I'm even more, I stand out even more because of the level that I'm capable of working at than I did even before, and it was an issue even before. Like like the first job I got fired from, saying I was too creative, passionate, and intense. Well, I'm even more creative, passionate, and intense now than before, which is a good thing for the actual work that I do. It's not a good thing when you're trying to find an employer that just wants a body in the seat that can do a decent job. They're not looking for superstars. They're just looking for somebody that can do the job, that they can plug into the role, and they're not going to have to fuss over a lot. And that's going to integrate with the coworkers more easily. I am much less attractive as a candidate for those people than I am for the ones looking for a superstar. So I leveled up during COVID, but that leveling up is also a liability, especially when a lot of the jobs I'm going for now are like more entry level. Bodybuilding. Um, I when I first got to Seattle, I got talked into hiring a personal trainer. I joined a gym for the first time in my life, and I hired a personal trainer, and I worked with him for maybe a month. I liked it. I got a lot out of it. He was good, but I know myself enough to know I do not have the discipline to stick with something like that long term. And we were doing. I was eating better. I was working the right muscles. I'm already active because I walk everywhere and I have a lot of energy. I'm always going and doing, so I don't have a problem with. I'm not sedentary. Even when I'm sitting down, I'm moving. It's that kind of focused discipline activity that I'm not good at. Now I tell you my best fitness regime comes from hiking. If I had the ability to just hit the trail every few days, 2 or 3, 4 times a week, all my fitness would be back. In fact, that's how I can tell how out of shape I am. Because when I first, like, I haven't been hiking in years. So if I were to go on a hike today, I would get a good idea of where my baseline is. And then after like 3 or 4 or 5 really good long hikes, I would feel myself getting back to my normal um, baseline of fitness from just hiking alone. And then because the hikes get easier and easier, and then once I hit that baseline, then I can tell when each hike is like in that zone that I'm used to it being in from hiking all the time. And so that I use nature. Nature is my gym. That helps me more than anything. But things like martial arts, bodybuilding, aerobics class. I used to do my mom had the Jane Fonda tape in the 80s, and I used to do the Jane Fonda workout with her. Man, let me tell you, that is a workout. Do not underestimate Jane Fonda. In fact, when I was older, I got the Angela Lansbury workout for old people to try to step down from Jane Fonda and work at a different level. But even that didn't motivate me enough. Hey, Mike. Oh, we have our new co-host, Dolbez.
Co-hosts. I'm upgraded.
What's happening in Norway
Um, well, I
that we didn't find
finally
out about yesterday?
maybe something more personal, I guess.
Ah,
So I finally had all my professors for this semester. So because I just started last week, and so now I've had all four, and it's very funny how okay, so one is an old lady who speaks Norwegian. An old Norwegian lady who has a history of psychology and science. Really old, quite
that's
monotonous.
good for
But
history, I guess.
yes, she's competent, but it's very stereotypical for history because she has that classic librarian sound and physiognomy. Like she looks like a librarian. She looks like someone who sorts through history, not for the actual content, but just for the fun of
She's
reading
probably a
dates.
Spurg.
Yes, probably. But she was very nice, but very boring. So but she's good. That's good. It's fine to be boring because at least you deliver your information. You're competent. I would prefer her not to be, but
Are
that's
you
fine.
is attendance required?
Not necessarily for the lectures, no.
Okay.
So I could skip if I want to,
Right, I was gonna say there
but
might be some workarounds there.
yeah, but it's not that useful to skip. I mean, I don't have many lectures at all, so it's also a motivation for me to actually go out and get some movement. Walk to school, walk back. It's good, and it is it's like 6-7 kilometers a day because of that. So that's good. It keeps me fit. Um, so that's one professor or lecturer. Not all of them are professors. Um, because some of them are like first amanuensis. I don't know the university lingo. There's different tiers. You are just. I don't care about it. It's not important for the story or for the four. the four people. So one is a very boring old Norwegian lady. So she speaks at least perfect Norwegian. Then we have another Norwegian person. However, his class, genetics and biology, or psychology, genetics, and biology, it's an international study, so it's obligated to be in English. So, he's Norwegian, but he has to lecture in English, which completely fine for me. I mean, I consider myself fluent in English, at least to the extent that I understand it perfectly. I can speak it perfectly. My pronunciation isn't perfect, obviously. As you can hear, I don't have a perfect pronunciation.
Yeah,
However,
me neither.
it, well, I won't argue about that. Even though I feel I have to, but I won't. So it's completely fine for me. But a lot of people in my group who listen to the lecture, they were not happy with that. Like asking, can you speak in Norwegian, or uh, can you answer in Norwegian, whatever? And he can't. He's legally obligated
Oh,
to.
so he has to say no. Like he can't adjust to the individual needs of each student. He has
Well,
to
okay,
say
if
no,
they
I
come
can't.
up and ask him in person, yes, of course
Oh,
he can speak Norwegian, but he can't switch the lecture language
because then
or the.
everyone else would miss out on the answer.
Yes, and this is meant for international students as well, So, but he's Norwegian, so those are the two Norwegians, but only one speak Norwegian. Um, then we have, I think, an Argentinian who speaks. Wait, I got a sneeze almost.
Oh,
Okay, we.
that's
Sorry,
okay.
I got
It
interrupted.
happens to all of us.
Okay, so we have an Argentinian, or at least a South American of some sort. I don't remember the exact nationality, but at least she was not a Norwegian native, but she had lived in Norway for quite a long time, so she spoke Norwegian. But of course, she didn't speak standard Norwegian. She spoke a dialect, uh, pretty a nice sounding dialect, but a dialect still. But it's very gebrochen, which is a German term for like kind of
Broke.
broken and ruined and a bit half-assed.
Okay.
So it's like she doesn't speak that well, but the dialect she chose is it suits her Spanish inflection, if that makes sense. So it's more understandable than you would expect. And she's lived there for a long time, so she is speaking decent Norwegian. But the way she pronounces words are obviously wrong, but it is very understandable. I would argue it's similar to how Norwegian pronunciations of English words work. So if I speak like this, you will understand what I say perfectly, but it does not sound good. But you will understand what I say, like that kind. It's very noticeable that it's wrong, but it's understandable. So of the three, only one is actually speaking in Norwegian in a Norwegian university, and the fourth is a Danish guy. It's
Do you
like,
speak Danish?
no,
Oh,
but he lectures in Danish too. But the Nordic languages, they are considered so close that the lecturers can lecture in either one. So if there's a Swedish lecturer, he is allowed to lecture in Swedish, even though the class is technically Norwegian. And the same for Danish. Now, the Danish guy, he is adapting a bit. He's sort of tries to sound a bit more Norwegian as he speaks, and that makes it perfectly understandable. And in all honesty, it sounds beautiful. Like Danish is an ugly language, but when he approaches Norwegian a bit, it sounds really nice. It was really pleasurable to listen to. I never thought I'd say that about the language, let alone Danish, but it was actually pleasant to listen to. And yeah, he was the professor of examens philosophicum, so philosophy for the humanities.
so how many of these are you actually going to learn from?
At least a Danish guy. I really like him.
Okay.
He was a funny, understandable, a really good presenter too. It's like an actually good professor. I think I'm gonna learn from the boring old lady. I think I'm gonna learn from the guy who's obligated to speak in English. I'm not so sure if I'm gonna learn um, the. Wait, did I mess up? No,
Latinx,
the guy who
Latina.
spoke in English, he had cognitive psychology, not genetics. That it was
Oh,
the
the
Spanish lady who had
Spanish lady is
genetics,
genetics.
I think.
Oh,
Yeah. Either
and
way,
didn't
though,
you
I
have some lady last year that was Polish that you struggled with?
yes, she was Czech, I
Oh.
think. So both are Slavic languages. Both are very not understandable to Norwegians. But she had a even she was worse at pronunciation and word choice and everything. So like her accent did not well, was not in her favor as opposed to the Spanish lady now because her accent is in the favor of understanding. So yeah, all in all, I am very happy with the professors because I know it could have been worse. But I am sad I didn't keep any of the old ones because they were at least one of them. He was good. He had a social psychology, and before every lecture, he would play a Beatles song in the background that had some relevance to the topic he was going to talk about. And so it would be a little like quiz to us, like, why is he playing that song? Uh, like, why? And
That's so cool.
yeah, he was nice. He was cool, and he the good thing is that yes, he had social psychology, but he was also like his main field was evolutionary psychology, and so he had even written a book on like biology and evolution and psychology. So he had a very biological grounding in the social psychology, which I think safeguarded that course from woke basically because the first thing it did was begin talking about male and female and biology and how that's the foundation of all, and then on to individualistic and collectivistic whatever. So like, yeah, he was good, and my professors now are also good. I don't None of them are bad. At least last year there was a bad one, that was the Czech girl, but now none are bad in my opinion.
Well, what are you learning so far? Like, what's the best thing or the favorite thing you're learning or the most striking thing? Give us something interesting.
Okay, well, I have only been at school for 1 week. Like this was the first week
Well, you should
after.
have learned something in 1 week. You're a
Yes,
college
I
student.
have. So, for example, in
Wasted
philosophy,
Norwegian oil dollars.
we true enough, but we started talking about like the theory of arguments and how you sort of what is
Ooh.
the point of debate and like the main principles and whatever. So like he just began quite simply about the three sort of key assumptions behind any good argument, and that's what word like you have to attempt to convince, or no, I don't remember the first one, but one of them was like you have to attempt for the point to actually be relevant to the topic you're debating, and to attempt to provide correct facts. But of course, what are correct facts? Who decides what's correct? Uh, who decides that? And so he was good, but
Well,
it was very
facts, like a
introductory.
lot of facts, are easy to establish with
Yes, they are.
refer. Like we have reference sites, we have websites, articles, video. You could show, look, this is what the person said. So some facts are
Yes.
verifiable.
And so the facts that are easily verifiable, yeah, you should use them.
So yeah, I agree. Facts help. Help in a debate. So does relevance. Facts and relevance. I'm with this guy so far.
Yeah.
Is this the Danish
Uh,
guy? Thank you, Beak, so
yes,
much. Have a great
this
day.
is the Danish guy. And my friend, he commented something funny in that there is a large correlation between professors who are well dressed and and their competence, which is very true. The more immaculately dressed my professors and teachers have been, generally the more competent they have been. Which is
I don't know if that held in my generation.
no, but I think that's because in your generation it was more standard for everyone to be well dressed, I assume. But
Oh
now it's a
no, no.
rarity.
We had the
Okay.
eccentric professors that dressed all kind of ways.
Oh no.
And a
Now
lot
it's
of
a
them wore the engineering shirts with the pocket protectors, and one of them walked. He had a pipe like Sherlock Holmes in his mouth all the time. Um, yeah, I can't. They were professors. You didn't expect them to dress nice. They were antisocial. They weren't going to any
Yeah,
kind of formal
exactly. You
dinner.
don't
They were
expect.
hanging out in the lab, in the
Yeah.
teacher's lounge, in the computer lab.
Well, it's the same now, Jeff, but there's still those few that dress nice. I've seen throughout my childhood that both the teachers and now professors, that the ones who actually dress nice and usually go with a suit or like a half suit, they tend to be more competent. I don't know what that means.
I don't
Maybe
think it
it
means.
means
I think
something.
that's some. I think that's that in that realm of mythologizing that we talk about.
Well,
It's
yes, kinda, but my favorite teacher from
all right.
high
Needs
school, he had a
romanticizing.
suit. He wore a suit every day, and he had these shoes, like the tailored shoes, really nice, and they would sort of clack and make a sound every time he walked, and he would use that to control the classroom. So, like when the classroom was being not disobedient but very noisy, he would
Disobedient.
one stand still and just stare at the person who made the noise. And he had a very sort of powerful stare, so they would shut up really quickly. And as he was lecturing, he would walk around the classroom at a certain tempo, so the clacks of his boots sort of reverberated around the room and set the tempo of his lecture. And like he controlled the class perfectly well. Like he's the first person since elementary school where we actually stood up for the teacher. Because that was something you were forced to do in elementary school. You would
What?
stand up behind the desk as the teacher went in, and then he
Oh
would
my
he would
gosh.
allow you to sit. But that stopped like the later years of elementary school and middle school and most of high school. But that one teacher, he never said anything, but everyone just kind of did it because he just had that presence about him. He had a gravity. You were sort of pulled around him, like being dragged into his orbit.
So like
And
it was nonverbal.
yes, and
That's
verbal, because he was a
remarkable.
brilliant orator. So he would sort of hypnotize you with the sounds of the classroom and his image. And one of the first things he did actually is that he would take us out on a walk, basically, and lecture about the various monuments or the one monument in our hometown as a starter. So, like our, I think, um, second ever hour with him. So this is in high school, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. I think I did, but he would take us out, just um, walk around the city, and without him saying anything, we just organized into a straight file, walking like a not a professional military, but like a militia. We organized like two in width and this length, we have this distance. See, he never said anything. He didn't command it. He didn't say anything. He just that we
Y'all
just
should have made little
naturally
armbands
yeah,
to
we just
replicate.
naturally adapted to his sort of gravitas. And so he would take us out and walk a winding path throughout the city. And then he would stop in front of this monument and just stand up because there's a few steps and there's a huge pillar, which is this monument. And you can see this carved images. And it's a monument to the lost sailors from 1814, I think. So that war, our independence war from Denmark, or against Sweden, you could say. So there's a monument, card monument, and he would stand up these steps and look down on us, and we would just form in a circle, and he'd lecture, and then he'd just stop, take us back in, and continue as if nothing happened. And another time, he took us walking to Scandinavia's largest Viking burial, which a burial mound, which is close to where I grew up. And he would take us walking down this path where you can see that the footpath is about 2 meters below the rest of the terrain. And he would talk about how this was the main trade route of Bronze Age Norway, and that they would walk and trade along this route. And a great king in the 500s, he was buried there, and at that place, he had made the campfire and we had memorized Norse mythology, Norse stories, and he would tell that, and then he showed us a few Viking games that they used to play back in the day, and so
What was
he
what was
had
the
this.
Viking games? Are there any you
Uh,
could play on the panel?
No, it's physical, but one of them, the main, I don't remember the name, but it's basically train dexterity and agility because you're against an opponent, so there's two, and then your goal is quite simple. You're gonna tap the other guy on his shoulder, and he tries to hit you away or dodge. That's all there is. You just have to tap the shoulder, and getting close, you have to kind of jump and really snake and try to trick the opponent. Like very simple game that basically teaches you to how to stab someone in the neck. Like that's basically what it teaches you, how to hit those soft spots without getting hit yourself. And so he just taught us that. He was an amazing teacher, and he's sort of the guy I want to be, who has that sort of presence that pulls you in. And to even build on that personal mythos, we never, like, until the last few months I had of him, we never learned his last name. He was just referred to by his first name, and he kept his last name hidden. So sort of,
How does a teacher how does a teacher get away with that? Like, I can't.
well, it was on his website. It was on the school account, but nobody checked because he was just his
There
first
was no.
name.
Well, he didn't inspire curiosity. At least
He
the one quality
redirected
you would think a
curiosity to other
teacher would.
places. But
No
we
curiosity.
and he was also rich, by the way. He owns one of the nicest villas in my so in my hometown. There's a nice lake close by, and by that lake you have a few lakefront properties, and he owns one of those. It was really nice. But
What is he teaching for?
I honestly don't know. And even better, like he was politically active and almost an activist during the Yugoslav wars, because that's when he was sort of younger, and so he
It
had
sounded
all
like
of
he
these
was training
stories.
a militia.
It does, but he was, shall I say, very worried about the future generations and the future of Norway, and so I think he honestly saw it as a
Me
sort
too,
of
honestly.
duty to try to make the next generation as competent
The
and
Norwegians were
Hey,
also
Shift,
like
what's up?
aligned with some of them Nazism as well during the Second World War.
oh yeah, sure.
It was definitely part of the ethos there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, so were the Italians and the French. They would say as well the way it went. The Germans at first, but hey, I mean, not the Germans, the Russians, but hey, yeah. They also, by the way, young man, they found a disc in Ukraine. It's very old, and it's sparking a lot of controversy about how well the Vikings, the Rus, there would have been Vikings that side, understood mathematics. You should check it out. It's very clever. Even during the war, they're still digging up things and finding relics.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I
history is
want to
intricate.
speak on behalf of the people and just say, first of all, this guy said duty. So, duty. Secondly, is it Dolbez? Is that
Yeah,
how you pronounce
yeah.
it? Is that how you pronounce
Yeah,
it?
yeah, that it's fine. It's fine. That's fine.
No, I don't want it to be fun. I want it to be perfect. How do I say it?
I don't know either.
I
Dolby.
You
don't
just
have
say it.
a set way to pronounce it. I never pronounce it. I
It's a
only
made
use
up
it in
name,
type.
so just say it
Yeah, it's a
however
made up
it
name. It
sounds.
has no set pronunciation.
So I think it's Olbez. The D is probably silent. That big old
No,
D is
okay,
a
that's
waste.
wrong. That's wrong. That is
Olbez.
wrong.
Olbez. It's a waste of a big old D. So, Olbez, first of all, I didn't even know you had an accent because every time I come here, you're always silent and I always try to get you to talk. And now I'm like, what? This guy's got an
Oh
accent? What
wow.
the fuck?
I'm always silent? What do you mean?
Yeah,
I feel like I
I've
Maybe
never
talk
heard you
and
he
say
talk.
stuff.
sometimes he goes silent when there's a ton of people on the panel.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then
Because
I just am in the chat being like, keep it down. Stop shouting, Olbez. And then the last thing I'll say before I shush is apparently, Jeff, this whole time you've been doing these streams where you're walking around eating French fries, and I had no idea. I,
Yeah.
I
I
I've
started that
only
after
seen you at your
Trump did the
desk.
fry station. It inspired me.
I had no idea. So I'm missing out. Also, salute to these other dudes. Welcome to here. And
S- Speaking of walking around, oh, you're in the bushes.
I
like,
mean,
when
look,
is
look,
that guy not in the
look,
shadows in his
watch
subdivision?
this. Watch this. Yo, fuck Jeff. Yo, fuck Mike Throne. Fuck Dolbez. It's people from the bushes. It's like it's a term. You know, people always
Been
talk. They always
haunted.
talk crap from the bushes. They always talk crap from the chat. That's a joke.
Yeah,
I don't think you should do that gesture. It just makes people think of when you strangled your dick. Just saying.
Oh,
I haven't. No. It'd be a little bit of a different motion. It wouldn't be like that.
Okay, I didn't see it. I just know that you ruined the ice cream emoji, avatar emoji. But whatever.
how did he ruin the ice cream?
Well, Schiff,
Because
your mind is in the gutter right now, but don't ever change. Don't girl change it. Stay exactly the same.
Oh my
I
God,
don't
man!
need to
How did
change.
I
You
make
should
a
change.
mistake?
I have some. My curiosity is like at a 10 right now because I'm curious about the argument
Mm.
topic that the teacher was teaching Dobez about facts and evidence and relevance, and there was a third thing. And I'm also
The ice
curious
cream.
about this ice cream emoji.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but you reminded me. What made me click the link was so I come in here. This guy, Obez, has an accent all of a sudden. And all I hear him talking about is like this, like, super. He's like excited about like some stabbing of the neck game or something. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
the
is
Viking games where
happening
they.
here?
Yeah.
And then plastic. What is it? Plastic African comes up, and then he's got a beautiful accent. And then Mike Sarone comes up and ruins it all.
From the
Oh,
bushes.
Mike! Oh, Mike! You've
Don't
been
listen to the
over
bushes,
too
Mike.
much.
Don't listen to the bushes. Don't listen to the bushes.
Anyway, yeah. But what were you saying?
Stop
Sorry,
it.
I
Kick
wasn't
him off,
around.
Jack. It's offensive. Poor bushes.
Fuck Dolbez. Fuck Gen X Jeff. He's an asshole.
Oh, let that be poison oak or something. Please let that be a pink eye bush.
I don't know. I don't know. Very
Cobus.
very
Respectfully.
racy. I found out recently. I'm not going to say who told me, but Dolbez is actually from North Carolina. He's not even from over there. He's
a
lying.
little Viking baby. It's
Yeah.
This is why you're a doctor.
You found the truth. No.
He actually has a
Also,
southern
Keep that
accent.
hidden.
Yeah. He has a southern accent on the low. He just doesn't let you hear it.
He's forcing this.
So what is it? What is the topic? What is the topic of the day?
oh,
what is
it's going all over the place since.
Okay, so no, I'm gonna leave, but I just want to explain to Jeff how you ruined the ice cream emoji. So what happened was this guy strangled his dick on the internet, and then somebody made a clip video of it, and to cover his dick, even though AI could not recognize his human genitalia, they used the ice cream emoji, and now it's ruined.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, since I wasn't around for that or part of that, it doesn't have those associations for me. Not that I use the
What
ice
guy?
cream emoji.
What guy was it?
anyway.
What guy was it? What guy was it?
Well, I mean that's a generous term, but it was you.
It was me.
Yeah. You strangled
Okay.
your dick on the internet.
Oh, but
like,
yeah, but who put the ice cream emoji on top of it?
Oh, I don't know.
That's not the
So-
most.
Is it
Let
was
me
it the
ask you this,
cone,
let me
the
ask you
soft
this.
serve, this one?
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. No, it's all right. Let me ask you this. So is that why you're here? And why did you watch it so many times?
Oh,
No, I saw it once.
Okay.
that was enough to ruin the
So
ice
anything else, Chip? Anything else you want to add? Anything else?
No, what was more offensive to me was what you did in the true crime community when you're like, let me up because I'm a therapist, cop, whatever. That was fucked up. But I'm like, I didn't come here for you. I
never
was here
said that.
before you showed up.
So Chip. So
Oh,
Chip.
yeah, that's
Chip.
all
I know. No, that's all right. That's all right.
drama
Jeff, let
in
me
the
take this.
past.
No, that's it. Chip, I know who you really are. Don't make me dox you. Just don't do it.
Hey,
Don't do it.
Mike.
I know who you are. You're a
So just
fucking
move on.
dickhead.
You
Okay,
came
no,
up. No,
hey,
you came up to
you guys,
attack-
we
you came
haven't
up to
done this
attack-
in months.
Yeah,
We're not
she
going to
came
start
up. She
now.
came up. We were having a good time. She came up to attack
Okay.
me. That's all.
No, I
You
was here
came up after
before
her.
you.
Yeah.
And also, why would that be your go-to maneuver? What did I do that's so offensive that you want to use my identity to attack your actions? How does
You're
my
talking about
identity?
me. You're talking.
Hey,
So what?
this is drama court territory.
No, I'm
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I'm like I thought I was
can show
gonna
you
leave.
the
You
draft.
asked me a question.
Yeah.
I answered you. You were
Right.
offended by it.
Well, go back. No, it's okay. That's all right. It's cool. So, hey, how's everybody going today? How's everybody doing?
No, it's not cool.
It's
Apologize
more-
to me.
It's more haters that can't let something go from 2 years ago. But it's okay. That's
But
okay.
both of you,
They
please
have-
just shut up, okay? Please,
No,
we
they
had
have
a
nothing
nice
else to talk
conversation.
about.
Get off or stay silent,
Yes,
please.
sir.
This topic is
Well,
not
I can look
important.
here for next
Take it
Adam
another
show.
stream,
You in the
please.
neck.
Yeah, I came up
Yeah.
here for neck grabbing
Exactly.
shit
I'm gonna
and
come and
and
stab you in the neck.
yeah.
Jeff,
Sadly, I
take your
don't have my knife
take,
there, though.
take your bullshit somewhere else. Take your bullshit somewhere else.
Well,
It's
yeah,
okay.
Mike was trying to move on because he just asked us how we were all doing. So
Yeah.
Well, I will leave, but fuck you, Mike Cerrone, and yeah, bye.
Oh well, fuck
all
you
right,
too. Okay, bye.
take care, Shift. You know I still
Dude,
like you.
it's
You
another
guys have
That's
troll. It's another
that's the
troll.
she spreads good vibes. We
Oh yeah, that was
appreciate
She
her
that was a
for
spreads
great
that.
good
vibe.
vibes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
That
think
was a
so.
great vibe. Yeah. That is a troll who uses a voice changer who's here to only create chaos. That's
That's
all
a
this
voice
person is.
change.
Yeah.
It's a cool voice change because it's the same
Yeah.
voice
Yeah.
every
It's
time.
okay, Jeff. Jeff, you
No,
have it who you want to have.
I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Shift.
But I come up to have a good time and have fun and laugh, and
Well,
that
let's do
person
that because I only
turned
have
it into yeah,
only half an hour left. So
turned it
let's
into chaos
Oh,
for
you don't have much time,
reason.
huh?
For no
yeah, I have that
reason.
interview to go to.
Yeah.
Oh.
These people do the most egregious stuff, but they want to lambaste you about something from 2 years ago. From 2 years ago. So it's okay.
Well,
It's all right.
that's pretty good though if the only thing they remember about you is from 2 years.
Yeah.
That is a good point. Fair point.
The most constant thing is that when they have nothing to talk about, they go to the archives. But they never
Your
talk
mic
about
is
Speaking of
way
arguments,
fucked up,
I'm
bro.
dying to know what that third thing is.
Oh yeah, I can load up the PowerPoint.
Dobez is learning arguments in college, and
yeah,
the
it's all good.
So would like debate.
Well,
So
actually, you
I'll
know,
switch.
fun
With
thing.
debating.
I
How?
do
Oh, yeah, I
have.
was but no, dude, this is interesting because you probably are going to be the one that will be treated the last generation that will have humans as your mentors, if you will. That you will probably
Who are
be
you
that.
talking to?
Well,
you,
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
you,
okay.
the only one young
Because
enough
AI,
to still be in school.
AI, like Jeff was saying, AI, he was dealing with it trying to get a job. This AI thing that's going on, machine learning and analytics, okay, is going to take over and remove many high-ranking jobs that people think they can have, and that means also, you might get that. I want a human doctor, surgeon to do my stuff, but the next best thing is going to be robotics and AI, and this goes into law.
I think
Into
that's going to put a higher
banking,
premium on
going into
humans.
all that stuff where people for a long time have been making over 500,000 at its peak a year, if not more. And these jobs are going to disappear out of the mire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is it. So the change,
Yeah.
the variable of where this is coming, this idea that we can have nepotism with our families now, because the product itself is just going to look at no, what can be done and who you are within it. If you can't get within those structures, as in understand the program, so you've got to be a coder, understand language. I would say go back in further language to understand the new stuff, especially Linux, if you can ever do it. All right, to be somewhere that will be one of the concrete dudes of this new Maya that's coming, and very soon it's coming. This is we've had the industrial revolution, right? The agricultural, industrial, and World War One, and maybe phase one of the new utopia. But this phase is going to wipe the floor with people who think they're rich. It's going to take them out, man.
Well, sure, but at the same time, I don't see any reason why, if all businesses could replace 90% of all human workers, I don't see why you couldn't just open up new businesses for those. Like, why not?
Humans have to do something. So it would be like Black Mirror. Get on your bike, cycle, or walk around a block, or do something just to keep your day going, so you don't get unfit, unhealthy.
Learn a new skill. Learn something that's still appreciated. There will always be something a human can do to be appreciated.
Yes, but some people, artisans, you're right, artisan cooking, making pottery, fucking go back to fucking ironwork and all that stuff. You still need and require the chain, and that chain itself is going
Part of
to
it,
be
I think there's a
value.
bias against human value. Like people are, like HR departments, like he said, are turning into machines, and there's a trust that the machine is superior at identifying talent than a human, and I don't think that's
Yes,
necessarily true. And it's going to take enough humans to show that they're better than the machine at certain tasks. And
Absolutely.
until that happens, people default. There's this bias that defaults toward the machine being more competent than a human, and
Well,
humans are going to have
Jeff,
to
how
overcome
it is. How it is profitability. As a shareholder, as somebody, I want my money out of my buck. Yeah, give me my money. So I don't care. It's not a moral obligation for you to make me that money. So it will peak. It's going to peak. It's not even started. The peak will come, and then the fall will come after that when they realize this is useless. And but by that, when's that going to be? By that time, are we going to be able to pick up the pieces? It feels like to me the end of Rome, the days of the end of Rome that I'm seeing in front of me. If you understand history and study that, the same things, the factors again.
I do think that the more you can imitate or give the impression that you're a robot or a cyborg or a Cylon, the more successful, like the more trust you gain and the more successful you are professionally.
And also to your point about it being the end of Rome, I see where you're coming from. I would, if we have to have a historical comparison, I would rather do the end of the Roman Republic than the Western Roman Empire. I think that's more fitting. Both fit to some degree, but I think Republic fits more, unless you look at it from the demographic perspective, because then the Western Roman Empire fits better. But
That's
yeah.
yeah. There's here and there. It's not just semantics, yeah, buddy. I'm sorry, Mike. You want to carry on?
No, you're good. I'm just listening.
Okay.
Sorry, but I would say is that we've become again a global enterprise. So there's not now that we are going to go, or we're either going to have to go revert back. They say, because we're seeing, I said it before, didn't I? We're seeing funny activity in the Earth, especially when it's coming to the way that the magnetic sphere within us, the magnetic is doing something odd, and that's changing everything around us, let alone the star. So that could revert us straight back to the Stone Age if it happens. But we don't live by those.
I'm not that pessimistic.
We don't live by those methods. So we see where it goes to the powers that be. So we have we do have a power structure happening, correct? Do you see that, like the West and the East almost?
It's about BRICS.
But a challenge is always good because it always makes us go up and up and up again. There's some break point. I don't think humanity will go into the mire of apocalypse, if you will. We won't have, nuclear bombs.
Collapse back to the industrial age.
I don't know. I mean, I think the West has to be very careful here, and the East as well. Both of them are reliant on one another.
Of course.
And in that, if we're not careful, the homogeny that we have there is going to break down. And
the world is too interconnected because the West is now, its safety relies on the security of China, for example. Well, not entirely, but we are very interconnected, and that gives both more gain and prosperity, but also more risk of collapse. So I certainly see that point, but I tend to not be as pessimistic about it. Even AI, maybe it's a foolish belief, but I don't think AGI is close, or maybe it's not even possible. I don't know what I think about consciousness. I don't know what I think about that, so I don't know, and I tend to think that AI cannot imitate that, especially as AI training has sort of hit a limit, a soft limit, not a hard limit. There's still growth, but a soft limit where there's not enough information to train on. And so all that matters now, all you can improve now, is sort of more power to the machines, which are expanding rapidly still. We thought it would slow down, but it seems NVIDIA is now managing to speed it up again. However, fundamentally, I am unsure. I don't know if AI will be something akin to the printing press, or it's something closer to just the crossbow. Like, it rapidly changes a large part of society, but it doesn't completely collapse the old social order.
But you're thinking AI is one thing. I'm looking at it, say, let's just example petrochemicals. Now we have all that information. We throw it in an AI. It goes, go churn it. Tell me what you can have. We are finding new compounds and new compositions we've never thought we had. Yeah, and that's happening throughout these things.
Yeah, for sure. But to some extent, everything is not deterministic. You can't know that if you input the data are you sure you'll get new compounds? There is a human component there to get that creativity.
We have to get it together, make it, put it through an engineer. Well, look at it and go, yeah, it works, and it does not. Once we have that, we go, yeah, it works. But there's going to be a point where people will go, yeah, AI is a sure thing. None of it is wrong. Yeah. So because we're going to go trial and error through it.
I don't think AI is that level though, where it can be reliably sort of take that position. I'm not sure if it can even get to that point. Part of me wishes for that, because it'd be very interesting to see how far technology can go within my lifetime. Another part is very, very not happy at the thoughts of actual proper AI being possible. And
did you find that third thing for debates?
Oh, sorry, I got distracted by a fascinating talk. Let's see. I think this was... No, that's not where he... What? Okay.
Aren't you cold?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Is that a neighbor?
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
how
my neighbor's
cold as
next
ice cream.
No, I'm good.
Do you need a blanket?
It's cold here.
Okay, let's see. He had so many.
Oh, sick! It is cold there. Jeez, that's ice, man. Fuck.
Let's see.
Take you out, Mike. What are you training for, buddy?
Colder outside.
It's cold here too, but it's warmed up. Actually, surprisingly, it's really warmed up. That's weird.
Let's see. Okay, yeah. So the three main debate norms, you could say. It's very simple. I'm sorry for hyping it up, Jeff. So the number one is just, you have to actually have reasons for your arguments. I thought it was some esoteric shit. No, it's quite simple.
What do you mean, like reasons for your?
Well, okay. For example, someone says that it's we should make the industry more green because it's better. What are the reasons? What are the logical conclusions that will lead to that?
Oh, you mean within the argument itself? You have to have an argument.
Yes.
So facts, relevance, and an actual argument.
Yeah. So have reasons that...
So the argument and then the facts and the relevance is what supports your argument.
Those are the three debate norms, apparently, that are accepted in sort of, or not accepted, that are expected in debates.
It's like to have a specific position, and
Yeah.
then to back up that position with facts, and have the position and the facts be relevant.
And also reasons to not, so you don't just shout out your opinion and then leave. You actually have to have an argument, because you can present an opinion like, I think America should invade Paraguay. Why? I think America should invade Paraguay. That's why. You have to actually... I don't think that. Don't clip that. Don't say I wish death upon Paraguay. I don't. But but yeah, you get what I mean. You actually have to argue and not just present your facts, because not facts, your opinions. Because a surprising amount of people that I know just present opinions and expect you to change your opinion to that. That if I just say that we should invade Paraguay, I expect that you will agree. Don't you, Jeff? Paraguay deserves death. Join us.
They obviously have not spent a lot of time on YouTube or in the Panaverse or even arguing about people.
Yeah, it's real people, Jeff. That's real people. That's
So this is like a 101, maybe for people that have never argued or debated before.
Yeah, and it's also a way to to train you to analyze debates and arguments, which also sort of, well, that's the same thing as writing thesis papers, for example. You have an argument or you attack an argument. That's fundamentally what you do. You support your own proposition or you sort of critique another. It's both in writing and speaking.
Dobbs, are you learning to debate in university?
It's talking about debate analysis as a part of philosophy class.
An analysis of debate. Okay.
Did you debate in high school?
Oh yeah,
Sure,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you have to. Yeah. You again, good education. I'm clear. Yeah.
We also had a lot about rhetoric and speech creation and analysis and how to structure arguments. But that part in high school, it was more about how to do it yourself and how you do it from a rhetorical perspective, how to make people sort of that's more about argumentative speech and not necessarily a debate. Whilst now it's more about analyzing a debate.
A debate starts as something like, I want the house. I believe it's I want the house to debate. Is that correct? I come to the house for this, and then the debate is in motion, and then people are there.
Yes, but it differs. Because there's two main schools of debate. There's the British style, and then I think the continental style or something. There's two main styles. One is like British parliamentarian style, and another is the one that we use, but I don't remember the name because it's more generic, I think. So but it's generally the same. Yes, one person starts with their position, and then the other, and then back and forth, and they have time to comment. It's very formalized. But at the same time, this in school is all that we're talking about now. It's also just more general how to just analyze it,
and it's in the context of philosophy, the philosophy of psychology.
Not necessarily psychology, but because we share this topic with lectors, so future teachers. And a few more subjects, I think, because this is just examens philosophicum humanities. So it's just the philosophy for humanities. That's
because a lot of psychology does have its roots in rhetoric. I mean, you have to know the psychology of your listener to communicate effectively. So there's a lot of knowledge, implicit knowledge of psychology anyway, in rhetoric and sophistry.
I agree. Although I will say, I still enjoyed.
Lopez is
Yeah.
He's restless today.
We actually had a debate though. Again, I have to go back to that really base teacher because he organized a debate in school. He was the speaker, so he was the guy who. The mayor is actually the literal translation to English, but it's not a mayor, but it's the furor of the words, because a mayor is ordförder, and that guy is also the ordförder because he directs the words, but that translates either to mayor or word Führer, the German Führer, like Hitler. So it's funny translation. Back to the topic though. He organized a debate for us about blasphemy laws, if Norway should reintroduce it or not.
What?
Blasphemy laws. Are you allowed to criticize religion?
The answer is no. And P.F. Jung was debating that with some guy the other day, that same topic, because the Christian nationalists are bringing it up.
I'm very happy that Norway removed its blasphemy laws, but it's really funny because we technically only removed them in 2016, but that's because everyone sort of forgot about it. They forgot we still have it.
Like, what would happen if you would blaspheme?
They're added.
Who would decide what blasphemy is?
You know that.
That's a shame.
In Britain, they're trying to add. It hasn't come in, but they're trying to add it.
Yeah.
And this is why it's going all Stasi. Why it's gone so fucking left. The left doesn't even know where it's going. Hence why what's happening with Trump. Why he's Trump King Emperor is coming.
Nobody's gonna make him emperor.
Yeah, I do agree though. There is a pretty clear reason, and it's actually really funny because in this class you could take your own position. And so you'd prepare a speech, take your own position, and you'd vote and see what people actually thought. And it was very funny. The only ones in support of reintroducing blasphemy laws, they were Muslims. And the Muslim immigrants, they were the only ones who cared. Everyone else argued against blasphemy laws. So it was very, you could see where the separation was. Because
but I would say henceforth, okay, the blasphemy laws of Christianity, not Islam, because it's a Christian country, right?
yeah, if
It's
anything,
not a
that's
Viking country anymore. You don't have old gods there, correct?
yeah. If
Do
you
y'all
are
have a
going to have
national
blasphemy
religion?
laws, it has to be in protection of the dominant beliefs of that society, not the minority belief.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Well, in a democracy, shouldn't it be applied to any religion? Do y'all have a national
I
religion?
believe it
clearly,
shouldn't be there. I believe
but-
we shouldn't have any blasphemy laws at all. But if we have to have one, it's much more logical to then have it in protection of the dominant beliefs.
Well, no.
than-
How would you have a law that doesn't apply to everybody equally in a democracy?
Huh? No, blasphemy. You are not allowed to criticize Christianity, for example. But you're allowed
You
to.
shouldn't be allowed to criticize any religion. If you're going to have a blasphemy law, you have to apply it to all religions or none at all, at least democratically.
No, like historically, you were not allowed to criticize Christianity, but you were allowed to
Well, I'm
criticize
talking about in the
Islam.
modern democracies that we live in today. How would you get away with a law that you only apply to one religion over all the others?
Well, that's what they're
seems
trying
to me
with
that
this
would
law now.
undermine the
Equalities Act,
principle
yeah.
and concept of living in a democracy in the first place.
But well, Jeff, that's why America is good for that, because it always says statement first, as you're American and in God and all that, no matter what you have, the religion and that, you're all equal under one God. So you are free to do it, but first and foremost, you are American, and that's the rule of that. That's why it states that.
That's why I'm trying to figure out if it's different in Norway, does it have a national religion?
But Europe has
Does it not have the free speech or equality under the law?
This is the problem, that we don't have that. I don't think Europe has that in the constitution, because it's running under
It doesn't have a constitution.
the EHDR, the European Human Rights Court, which is governed by. It's a very funny method of looking how we can and cannot regulate what is free speech, and where it comes down to the toe of egregious discussions or pushing for hate and all that stuff. You're inciting a violence, or you're inciting things that shouldn't happen. So then you're spreading a hate, and henceforth that is illegal, as they put it. But again,
somebody has to judge that.
Of course. That's why there are two methods of how Britain and Europe are. So Britain always says essentially nothing is illegal. It's only when it becomes bad or something happens that the peers look at it and then say yes or no after the case in point. You know what I mean? That's how it's happened from there. That's how law has been driven.
You have illegal tweets. You have
but that's now exactly. That's because they're using these things of the malicious act of communications, which they've introduced over that period. Which is underwriting, because we don't have a constitution of that manner. We only have the Magna Carta, and then that's one of the bigger problems, is that from there, law has been written over that, and it outwrites it. It's a difficult one, where Europe actually looks at it and creates scenarios, and then in those scenarios they say, okay, that's illegal, or that is okay. That's where it's based on. That's
You're talking
Mike,
about the
jump in,
difference
because
between
I only have
civil and
about
common
15
law,
minutes,
right?
so I want to give you some airtime too.
You're muted, Mike.
You're on mute.
Yeah, Mike,
you're muted. Mike, muted.
Okay. He's.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So with blasphemy laws, it's very interesting because a lot of people are afraid of inciting violence, and blasphemy laws, I think, certain religions are more prone to violence than others. Let's just talk Turkey. Okay. Some of the Middle Eastern religions are more prone to violence, to where some of the Christian religions are more prone to bitching and complaining, but they're not going out and burning down buildings. Let's just talk like it really is. But I think the Catholic Church, which was the most powerful church in the history of mankind, is now dwindling. There's more Christians, there are more Muslims, there's more Buddhists. And I think you were never allowed to talk bad about the Catholic Church. But now there's so much stuff coming out about the Catholic Church that's evil. So I think blasphemy laws, are they fair? I think you should be able to dispute or talk about someone else's beliefs and not agree with them, but be respectful about it. Be respectful. Don't resort to violence. Don't resort to, all kinds of craziness. It's like trolling 101. They're trolling each other over religion, not over internet clout. But the problem with religion, gentlemen, is that religion drives men mad. It will drive men to K-word people. It'll drive civilizations to go to war. So religion is one of the most fickle things I've ever seen. It's all about love, but then you will die for it. It's the weirdest paradigm I've ever seen.
Oh no, Mike. I would add that it's because men mainly when we come together and we create and formulate communities, the biggest ones we do are always subsequently become our better half. So we always protect each other. That's homogeny, right?
Yeah.
And that's why the one, from the Judaic viewpoint, why the Romans are so interested in it, hence why they became the Holy Roman Empire and then split off to the Eastern Orthodoxy, right?
Became the Holy Roman Empire?
Of course. I mean, the Holy Roman Empire came from the Romans, right?
I thought that was German.
No, it was the Pope crowning the Frankish king as the Holy Roman Emperor because the Eastern Roman Empire was ruled by a woman, Irene. And he saw that as a power grab to crown the Frankish king, Charlemagne, the father of Europe.
Yeah, but there's
no continuity there. They claim the heritage, but there's no continuity.
But the Catholics, if you will, so Catholicism, not Protestantism, and not Orthodoxy, came from the Romans, which was
Orthodoxy too.
Roman Catholic.
I agree that Catholicism and Orthodox come from the Romans. I agree, but not the Protestants.
Yeah. Well, the Protestants come because of fucking Luther. Luther saying, no, fuck this, man. And it broke open. But that was also because of money, the way that we had usury laws and we couldn't fucking spend it and make it. So,
there were philosophical principles at work.
Well, no, there's always a pattern. There's always something. Intersexuality is a real thing, but also the way that we have grown to be here. While the Western foundation has come from such battleground and war, and then sort of come together in somewhat homogeny and said, and it had the best growth ever. Hence the Americans, the Americans came from fighting, looking and thinking, fuck that, I don't want that anymore. I'm seeking something else, and did it, and said, fuck that, fuck the, the Pope and screw the fucking king.
That sounds like blasphemy to me.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. And it's always kind of circumventing that. That's the way the powers are. It's always coming back, haunting us.
So no to blasphemy laws. Yes to blasphemy. No to laws.
No.
Yeah.
Hey Jack. I'm sorry. Hey Jeff. That Mike. I look at. Hey Mike. I'm sorry, Jack. Jeff. That Mike C. I look confused. That's not me. That's all the trolls coming up. So. I appreciate it. Talking about my kids and stuff.
Okay, well, let me get rid of him.
It's all right. I don't have time for this, man. Like I'm here to have fun, but the other trolls are coming up.
I got to wrap up anyway. I only got about 5 more minutes. So does anybody want to get last words in?
Yes. No. I am the whole. I don't know if she meant it, but the whole Roman Empire is gone. There's just the Vatican. The Vatican is not the successor to the Holy Roman Empire. I'm sorry, but
I think people are thinking of the Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah, but there's two separate things. The Vatican or the Pope crowned the Holy Roman Emperor, yes, but it was a separate entity, a continuation of the Frankish Empire. It's not necessary. It's not a direct continuation of the Vatican.
Is it crumbling? I don't know that it is crumbling.
Its surface is crumbling, but its foundations are still decently strong.
But crumbling is obviously metaphorical, so I don't know what they would be referring to. Physically, some of the roads are crumbling in certain states. I know the infrastructure,
I think
Microchrome
America
neuro.
will continue. America will continue, but it will face challenges. But so is the entire West.
But
I
that's, I
mean,
mean, we've been doing that since it was
yes,
created.
but what I'm saying is, I think if the next 10 years, if we get through those 10 years quite well, then the West will at least continue for a few more decades. Like the next 10 years will probably be harsher, or maybe it was the last 10 years. Who knows? But this period seems to have been the culmination of a lot of different patterns and cycles. And I think if we survive this, we can continue. And so, I
Well,
am hopeful.
I'm glad you faith in us, and you're so pro-American. We appreciate it.
Got it. Gentlemen, I'm jumping down. Have a great night, guys. Awesome to see you.
You too,
Good to see
Mike.
you,
African,
mate.
Stay
salute,
warm. It looks
absolute.
You
sunny
might
over there.
be safe.
Dolbez, keep
I will
fighting.
drop
Keep
down to
fighting a good fight. I still want to see some
boy.
ID, Dolbez. I still think you're
Amen,
15,
man.
but it's all good. All
I
right, you
literally
guys.
have
Salute.
my ID on my phone. I have it.
Have a
Oh
good,
Lord.
have
Don't
a
you
good night,
dare.
guys. I'll see you later. I'll see you later.
All right. I'll see you at the next
Cheers,
one. See y'all
Mike.
tomorrow.
Cheers, Jeff, as well.
You too, African.
You be safe, eh?
Fantastic. Dobez. Great
You
great
always,
chat.
you
Sorry I
always,
have to cut it so short.
always,
But
you always make it better. We're all part of that Western Foundation. Remember that. It doesn't matter what you are. It's not a white and black thing. It isn't about that. It's
yeah,
the
I
identity of
don't
where
think it
we've come
is
from.
either.
Again, it shouldn't be the. That's why most of it is now selling. We're products. We shouldn't see us other as products. Manifest for that, yeah. You're not money. You're
Yeah, I
yourself.
don't. I think the modern trend is to see
Yeah, absolutely.
people
Yeah,
as
yeah. We've got to
products
be.
or interchangeable parts in a machine, but
Yeah,
I
we're
don't.
not products. Your mind or any of that. Your time is it's that. Don't fucking waste it. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good day and see you later.
Should I also have I almost said eulogy, but should I also have an
An
ending
elegy.
speech? Elegy? Don't you say eulogy?
Well, eulogy is what you say at someone's funeral. An
Yeah.
elegy is a speech in praise of something.
Oh, I thought elegy was just American pronunciation of it. Okay. No, I don't know. Should I? Who would
Well,
I make it?
you got like 2 minutes.
Okay, then. Last words from the wisest person on earth. Not me. And I was going to say a quote, but I forgot it. So remember your quotes, kids. That's all. Because remember the wisdom of others and adapt it to yourself. Don't be shy about taking wisdom from others, even if you don't agree with them. There's always potential for knowledge and wisdom and power, you could say. There's a use case and everything, but you have to be careful. Be selective with what you take in. Yeah, don't save every quote you hear. Don't remember every
I
every
think people are
fact.
selective, but that's part of the problem. Like there's people selecting from Alex Jones over other
Yeah,
sources. So
people are.
it's
Some
what
people are
you're
selecting
select like.
wrong.
Be discerning in your selection.
Yes. Be very careful with your mental mind, treat it like nature. Well, actually, fuck, we don't treat nature well. Treat it like a lovely lady. It's there for your life, or a boy for your case, though. Treat it like someone you love. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Love yourself
And love
and
your mind.
seek power. Good night.
Okay. I don't think I have anything to add to that. Wish me luck. I'll be out tomorrow again, and we'll get the party restarted and going tomorrow. So take care, everybody. Have a great. What are we on Wednesday? And I'll see you at the next one. Take care.